Super Bowl Sunday. Um, Still got a while for the game to come on. Um, Over here at the East Coast, it's about 10 o'clock. So be a while for the game to come on. But I was going through some videos yesterday because I'm really, 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 really sick. Um, I'm dealing with mucus in my lungs and stuff like that. Really bad. So I had it for like around 4 days. So I'm getting over it a little bit, but it's just taking its time to go away. But it'll eventually go away. But this is like battling it. It's wild. Um, but like I was saying, games tonight, 6:30. Really, the game's gonna come on at 6:45. Um, yeah, I'm ready. See my Eagles. Been an Eagle fan ever since 1980. Born and raised in Philly. Um, Seen the ups and downs to this team through the years. The greatest players of all time to play for this team. Uh, to the bums that play for this team and the sellouts that played with this team. Um, we had the owners. To the for Norman Brayman, to Lori. Um, it's been a hell of a ride being almost 50 years old, and I see my Eagles in the Super Bowl again. But this is why I made this video because I was going through some videos last night. Because I couldn't sleep. I was up until like 5 in the morning. So I was just diddly down to the videos, and I seen the video, so I clicked on it. Um, it's I forgot his name. He's a former rapper. Um, he was talking about this is really bad. Like they're talking about Donald Trump is going to be at the game. So well, everybody know that. Like usually presidents do go to games, and sometimes presidents don't go to games. Usually vice presidents or former presidents that go to games, but Donald Trump is going to this game, so everybody knows that he's probably not going to be there because he was at a basketball game not that long ago and they booed the living crap out of him. But this game right here is really going to not the game, but the politics around this is going to prove how racist this country is because Donald Trump is trying to take certain things away from the game. Now, you know that blacks have their own national anthem. He wants to take that out the game. Or he said he'll boycott. He'll boycott. Now I'm sitting up here thinking, like, God damn, like, what's so wrong about our national anthem that we've been singing for almost 300 years? And I thought about it. I'm like, God damn, like, so this is so bad for us to have a national anthem, but y'all have the Star Spangled Banner, which the Star Spangled Banner was written by a racist. He wanted to slaughter blacks. He think all blacks should have been enslaved and they deserve to be slaves. I forgot his name, something Harris something. And Donald Trump wanted them to take all the stop racism signs down. Who like this? I see. It's crazy, right? Ever since the pandemic, and ever since Black Lives Matter, you had all different types of things like stop racism. You got the love thing, the heart thing, all these things that were coming out through Black Lives Matter, right? See, but Black Lives Matter gotten silent. But the thing is, right? Once Donald Trump got back in office, it seems like everything changed for the not the good, because you're at a event that billions of people watch around the world, a day that comes once in the blue moon on a Sunday, and all fans alike watch their two teams play against each other. Um, you got this man coming to the game, and he's going to tell the league he'll boycott if you don't change certain things to the game. Who made him God? Number one, the NFL is going to go running. Oh my God, we got to do stuff for Trump. We can't let Trump boycott. Oh my God, we're billionaires. He's a billionaire. We got to keep our ties together because he's the one that, give us our tax cuts and shit like that. And that's some crazy shit. Now, I know nobody's going to say anything at the Super Bowl. Tom Brady's not going to probably say anything. The boy that he does the game was not going to say anything. But how can you do this when you have two black quarterbacks and a black referee? But you're taking all this stuff out of the game. Lucky the players don't boycott. Lucky the referees don't boycott. It's so amazing that this man can just ruin shit. We can't have nothing. We can't enjoy anything. You know what I mean? We can't enjoy the game we've been watching ever since we were kids, or the game that we used to play, or you know, we wish that we played in the NFL or we played college or whatever. But I'm just saying, this is a game that we enjoy ever since we were kids. How can you tell 400 and something million people in this country that the game has to be changed in order to please the President of the United States? That's racism in all itself. That's 100% racism. You can't tell me that's not racism. You don't want us singing our national anthem, right? But you want to sing the Star Spangled Banner, and you want to sing all these other fucking, like, I don't watch none of the motherfuckers who want to sing anyway, because half these people can't sing, and so to me, I think it's a waste of time. But this is what they do. They got to make the game prolong until they kick the ball off. But if they introduce Trump, I'm trying to tell you, they're going to boo him. But I think the NFL is going to do this. They're going to put speakers in the stadium. They're going to turn the speakers up so the speakers can be louder than the boos, so they can give them cheers. Because I'm trying to tell you, the NFL, like the league and the owners, are kissing up to Trump. This never happened in 2020. Now this is happening when the NFL was actually on the sides of blacks and bringing things to their league to show that they support the players that they pay millions of dollars to, or the players that get hurt and put their bodies on the line for the league that really doesn't give a fuck about these players. But because like I said, they're just property, so they don't care about the players. So all they care about is this goofy looking motherfucking man. See, even Adolf didn't even do that at the Olympic Games. I mean, he didn't even do stupid shit at the Olympic Games. This man did. He's a dumbass. The biggest sport in the world. You know what I mean? And you want to come to this game. Now, I don't know what made him want to come. It's just like he just came out of nowhere. I'm going to go to football. He goes, hey, I'm going to go down there. I'm going to go, hey, old Vance, you want to go down there to the game and watch the game with me? Sure. How old do I have to be to get in the game? Well, you're 36, right? I lied. I told you I'm 15. Oh, okay. I forgot. You got to fix that. You got to fix your beard. Sure. I'm gonna see if I can get you in the game, Vince. So Vince got to sneak in because he's fucking young as fuck. Everybody thinks he's 36. That motherfucker really 15. But like I said, like, why the fuck do you need to come to the game? I mean, he could go on that John on in the White House and be on a big ass fucking screen, and he could talk, and they'll boom or whatever. But he's gonna be at the game. He's gonna be there along with Taylor Swift. It's crazy. Like, you got two annoying people, but I'm going to be on Taylor Swift's side this time because I think Taylor's going to probably stay away from Trump But the thing is, Donald Trump is he's just doing dumb shit, and people voted for this motherfucker. People talk about, oh, we voted for him for the policies. No, you fucking didn't. There's no such thing as y'all voting for anybody for anything. There was no policies that y'all voted this motherfucker in. Y'all said we wanted to get rid of Biden, get rid of Harris, we want to get rid of the Democratic Party, and we wanted to get our party in office like we had almost years ago. Now y'all got this motherfucker in. Now you seeing the most dumbest shit going on with him. Like I said, a lot of brainwashed motherfuckers out there. They're so brainwashed mentally, physically, and emotionally. They think that, oh my God, Trump's gonna be at the game. Oh, we're boycotting too. Who gives a fuck that you boycott? See, the NFL, NFL league, they care because the reason why they care, because like I said, Donald Trump is putting money. Donald Trump can take their money. He could fuck up the NFL if he really wants to. But see, this is the reason why they're kissing his ass. And I hate it because the NFL, the NBA didn't let him kiss his ass. The NBA did not allow Trump to do any of that shit. Now, the NFL has turned their cheeks, bent over, spread them, and say, hey, Donald, why don't you bring your little small dick in here and why don't you just penetrate? Because that's crazy that you allow this man to come to the game. He's going to sit there and look like a dickhead with the same blue suit he always fucking wears. You know what I mean? People are going to, the game's going to take so long. And they're probably going to show him so many times. I thought Taylor Swift was bad. This is going to be worse than Taylor Swift because they're going to show Donald Trump all the time because they have to. Donald Trump has to be the center of attention. You got to make sure you show Donald Trump. Make sure you show him. Make sure you show him. Make sure you show his face. I mean, he don't know nothing about football. He bought a football team, the XFL. That was years ago. That shit bankrupt. This is crazy, yo. Then on top of that, I remember when he bought the XFL, he tried to buy NFL football players. That was funny as shit. I'm like, see, this is your president, man. The things he did back in the 80s, what he did dumb back in the 80s, and which people want to pretend like Donald Trump didn't exist in the 80s or something, like he just popped up and he just popped up in the 2000s and like he didn't exist in the 80s or something like that. The 80s or even the 70s, like he didn't exist. Like you hear these people talk about Donald Trump like Donald Trump just came to be just one day and popped up out of nowhere, became president. And the motherfucker in 1986 said he's going to be president of the United States. He's gonna run for president. And I'm sitting up there like, how do people not remember that? Because you know why? Because there's a lot of young people that never seen Donald Trump. So like I said, politics didn't get this man in office. It's idiocy that got him in office. And the people that voted for him, they were the idiots. Because they all wanted to get this man in office, not because of him being a president. I mean, not my fault, not president. Being a motherfucking a person that they said, well, we can see you can help us with our politics and shit like that, and help us with the economy, healthcare, child care, help us with different things. No, they got the motherfucking office because this motherfucker do shit like this, and all the motherfucking killers and murderers and rapists he pardoned. Now this man is the Super Bowl. We don't know what this motherfucker gonna do. We don't know if people are gonna be at the game, and this motherfucker might actually bring his military in there and probably start looking for motherfucking immigrants. We don't know what the motherfucker gonna do. He is such an idiot. Like he will do some dumb shit. This is a night for the football players. This is not the night for Donald Trump. These players are in the Super Bowl playing for Lombardi Trophy. They should have their TV time. Show Donald Trump. Let him get booed. But like I said before, What they're going to do is they're going to turn up the volume. They're going to have some cheers louder than the boos, so Donald Trump won't feel some type of way. Because, you're going to start bitching, complaining of, why did they boo me? Oh my God, they boo me. That's what he's going to say. Because he's such a fucking baby. Everything got to be about him, 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 him. Nobody else stands in the room with him. Because nobody else is in the room with him. He's by himself. Even though it's like a million people in the room, it's all about him. He don't care about nobody but what's in front of him. And he just wants to destroy everything that we like and love. And he wants to take away our amendments. You just see right there what he wants to do with black amendments. He wants to take it away. He actually wants to take away our rights to have our own national anthem. And on top of that, he took away what do you call it? Black History Month. He took that away from us. Even though I didn't give a damn about Black History Month, because I believe Black History Month should just be a month. It should have been 300 something fucking years, but that's just me. But they took that away. He's taking little by little. Now, blacks want to talk about, oh my God, he'll never do anything like this to us. I keep telling you, that motherfucker slowly but surely will try to put blacks back in slave chains. I tell blacks that all the time. Blacks don't want to listen to me. Blacks always thinking that Donald Trump is going to not do these things because it's all about the immigrants. It's all about the people that are not documented. I'm like, that has nothing to do with black people. Black people are not documented too. We were immigrants too. We were brought over from ships. We were cargo. We were property. I mean, we were product. So basically, when we came to this country, we were not ever, ever, ever documented. We were documented as sale. That's it. So y'all, us black people thinking like, oh, he never gonna do nothing to us. He not gonna look at us like that. You out of your damn mind. He still want to make this country an all-white country. Like I said, you cannot make a country. Excuse me. It's the year 2020 fucking 5. You cannot make a United States an all-white country. There's no such thing as an all-white country. No such thing. Because you know why there's no such thing as an all-white country? Because it's called diversity. You know, blacks and whites have been mingling together for almost, I say, a couple of 100 years, having babies, having mixed babies. So I don't know where you're going to get this pure blood Aryan nation. It doesn't exist. This country could never be a one country of just pure, you know what I mean? Unless you get rid of all the motherfucking mixed kids, but you still got white people that, you know what I mean, that don't consider themselves as white. So why the fuck are you trying to take things from us when we enjoy shit? This is the one thing that we are enjoying. We're going to enjoy our Super Bowl, win or lose, but this motherfucker is going to ruin it. And he's probably going to say something stupid after the game. Because I remember he said something about Mahomes. Some bull said that he recruited. Like he's like, something happened. The bull said something that the bull, I forgot, one of his senators said something like, yeah, he used to he recruited. He coached Mahomes, and Mahomes back in 17, right? So Donald Trump was like, yeah, he was a great football player. He was a great quarterback. Mahomes was a great coach. Like, what the fuck did he get coached from? Mahomes is not a coach. So the thing about it, what he did is the stupid shit. This is so funny, right? The bull got asked a question about a John that makes like 60 something million dollars on Fox. There's a racist like a motherfucker. She asked him, yeah, I heard you used to coach Mahomes. This motherfucker said, no, I never coached Mahomes. I recruited Mahomes. Yeah, I recruited Mahomes. And back in 2017, but I recruited him and then I left. So at the Super Bowl, they asked Mahomes the same motherfucking question. Yo, Mahomes, this guy, they said his name. He said he recruited you. He said, who? He said, one, I don't even know him. Two, he never recruited me. And he said the boy that recruited him. And I'm like, that's some fucked up shit. Why are you lying? Nobody understands this motherfucker's a liar? That doesn't put two and two together that Donald Trump and many other people that's with him lie. A simple lie to say, yeah, I coached Mahomes. Yeah, I recruited Mahomes. And you fucking didn't recruit him. It came out of a man's mouth. I don't even know who the hell he is. I never met him. How do you lie like that? Why do you lie? What's going on with this country that people like liars? This man been lying to us ever since 2016. He lied to us during his political run to get to the White House, and he's lying to us right now. And people defend this nigga. This is the reason why I don't get into arguments with people over Donald Trump. Because I'm going to tell people I told people like this before. If you don't know Donald Trump before he became president, don't fucking say nothing to me. If you didn't know nothing about Donald Trump before Donald Trump became president of the United States, don't say shit to me because you don't know nothing about Donald Trump. All you know about Donald Trump, the president, you don't know about his past. So don't say shit to me. Because people always want to say, oh, well, Donald Trump's a great president. He's going to do a lot for this country. He's going to make America great. This country always been a great country. You mean you want to do the same thing that Hitler did when he said he wants to make Germany great again? So all that putting up the Nazi hand gesture and number one, I'm gonna tell people this. I'm gonna tell people this again. Number one, Nazi Germany. Adolf. And all the head, all the big motherfuckers over there. Number one, I tell white people this all the time. You would not be able to be in Nazi Germany. Because number one, Adolf would have thrown you in a concentration camp. If you wasn't a purebred white boy, white woman, or white child, you were considered the enemy. You had to be 100% blue eye, long hair, blonde, or pale skin, white male or female. Or you wasn't going to be in any type of anything. You would have been put in a concentration camp. You heard what Hitler did to his sister? After he found out he was dating a Jew? Took her boyfriend, put her in a concentration camp, took his sister, put her in a concentration camp. Put her in a work camp. You really think that see when you're in this country, people always talk about, this, Nazism. No, you can't talk about that shit here because number one, we live in America. It's two different places. Number one, it doesn't exist anymore. Nazism don't exist no more because it's been destroyed. It's been destroyed after Hitler died. So people try to hold on to it, but you can't hold on to something that already been gone. You can't start something back again. And like I said before, you cannot have Donald Trump try to start that, trying to be a tyrant. It's not going to work because you got other people, you got other leaders around the corner. It's not gonna, all leaders all around the world ain't going to take that shit from him. We're living in a world of nuclear war. We're not living in a world of sitting tanks and planes and submarines and we're going to sit jets and we're going to drop some bombs here, drop some bombs there. No, it ain't all about that anymore. We got missiles that can launch from one side of the planet and get to the other side of the planet in like 5 minutes. And you thinking that you said Trump is not scared of nobody? Trump does. See, this is what I mean. People want this country to be great again, but people don't care the losses that this country's going to have to take for this country to see. Excuse me. Excuse me. I still got that phlegm in my throat. This country has to go through to make Trump understand you can't rule a country on ashes. It's sad. It's so sad the way this country is right now. And you want to bring back something that happened over nearly 70 years ago, almost like 70 years ago. You want to bring that back. You're trying to bring back this power that fell apart. Like it's like you want to bring back Rome. Knowing Rome fell, you shouldn't try to bring Rome back. Rome fell. That's why this country is built like Rome, and this country is going to fall too. And guess what? Caesar's the one that actually made Rome fall after he died because Rome went bankrupt. So just imagine if Trump is your president and Trump is fucking up everything. He's going to do the same thing as Caesar did. He's going to destroy this country. And he doesn't care. He'll start nuclear war with somebody, and then he'll blame black people. You know what I mean? And it's sad because that's the only thing you should be afraid of. You should be afraid of a nuclear war because it can happen at any time because this motherfucker wants to start with everybody. And people are not afraid of that shit. People are not thinking that this motherfucker can say one thing, not just to Putin, to many other people that got nuclear bombs. People will say, well, we got nuclear bombs. Why do you want to go to war? Why do you want to go back and forth with nuclear warheads? Why do you want to go back and forth? Just because you want to say we're the most dominant country? We can't be the most dominant country if our country's not here anymore. Our country's on fire. We got radiation every fucking where. People are dying and people are dead. People got incinerated. Like, how the fuck you gonna rule? How the hell you gonna what you gonna be like? Oh well, my president did a great job. Wow, okay, well you're dead. So how did he do a great job? This motherfucker sitting in a bunker somewhere chilling, giving his boys high fives and shit, up there rubbing on women's body parts and shit. I don't give a fuck if this man did whatever he did, but he's a criminal in a way of making this country feel like we cannot do anything. It's like he's trying to build a border wall around the whole country and lock us in here. I don't know how people want that. How do you want to be in a country that's not, what it used to be? Like in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, even the 2000s, early 2000s, this country was amazing. But what happened? And I'm not talking about the pandemic because everybody know about the pandemic because the pandemic was forced upon them because they wanted to get Trump out of office because Trump did some stupid shit. Trump did a lot of stupid shit. So they had to use the pandemic to get Trump out of office. That was the mastermind thing. I'm trying to tell you that was the mastermind thing. Why you think that Biden got out Fauci? Because he got Fauci out because, number one, Fauci's Republican. I still don't understand how he pardoned Fauci. And he's a Republican. And Fauci really honestly lied about the pandemic. But he got pardoned. And I didn't understand that shit. But the man lied about the pandemic and you fucking pardoned him. Like, I don't understand. This is the only thing I didn't understand about what Biden did. Me, I was never a Biden fan. I never was a Harris fan. Shit, I was never anybody fan. I don't give a fuck about these people, man. These people don't give a fuck about us. All they care about is money, 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 and giving back to the people that gives them money and makes them more money. Because the poor and the unfortunate people can't give rich people anything. All we do is work for the rich, and we get less money from the rich. And we work our asses off every day, and these big ass companies are making all this money, and you're making at least about $7.35 an hour, minimum wage, which they won't raise. Terrible. They won't raise the minimum wage. Child care, health care, all this shit is fucked up. He's trying to take away so much shit from people. He's forcing women to what was it? Is I forgot what part of the country? Women, women that has men paying child support, women would have to let the men get their taxes or something like that. It's I don't understand. I'm like, why does he just take away child support? And not just take it away, why don't he just force a thing that fathers have to be part of? They have to do something to order to be around their child, but or have the father pay child support. He'll have to get it on a piece of paper so he can get it to court. But see, the mom has to pay child support too. That's what I'm saying. It should be both ways. Now, the mom gets the child 99% of the time, but the father doesn't really get to see the child because, it might be difference in the mother and the father. But still, the mother should be able to pay child support too. It shouldn't be just the male. It should be the female too, because the female can't be sitting on her ass waiting for a check every month and then go to court again and say, listen, I need more money. That's some greedy shit. Like, but see, Trump is an idiot. Like, he's a fucking idiot to be doing shit that make people think like, oh, he's really doing a great job. Like, yeah. Oh my goodness, he's doing. Oh, you know what? Let's go and get some immigrants. Let's go and get some immigrants. That motherfucker went through the roof to go and get some immigrants. And he also got documented people too. So somebody came and got somebody's husband. He was documented. And then it was a man that had a wife that, they came to the house and she had like a week left to get her papers. And they took it. They actually took her. She paid all that money to get her papers. They walked in the crib and they took her. She only had a couple of weeks left to get her papers. She had to pay a lot of money because you got to pay money to get your papers. I mean, you don't get your papers for free. So these motherfuckers sitting up here talking about, oh, they're undocumented. You know what? There are undocumented immigrants. And us black people, we're really undocumented. And also the Europeans are undocumented. But the thing about it is that we're never going to look that way because we always believe that they should be here legally. I was like, so when has black people ever been in this country legally? When did white people ever come to this country legally? Somebody tell me that. Like, when did blacks or when did motherfucking Europeans ever came in this country to be legally? No, nobody can answer that question because a lot of people don't want to answer that question because they know that we're the ones that are undocumented. We've been in this country for nearly 400 years. When we came off that boat, we were not citizens of this country. We were workers. And once they put us with them chains on, they thought we were never going to be free. They thought we were going to be slaves for life. Until Civil War came. And I keep on telling you, Lincoln didn't free slaves, but people are always thinking that he did. He had a part of freeing slaves, but he didn't actually free slaves. Some slaves freed themselves. But like I said, we were never documented even after slavery. Black people were still being arrested. Black people were still put to work. Black people had their land taken away from them because they couldn't read or write. White people were just going to people's mouth. The funny thing about white people were just going into black farms and just telling them like, can you sign this piece of paper for me? So the guy couldn't read. So once he signed the piece of paper, the land was going to the white man. That's so sad because how? We have no chance, man, of being absolutely free. We were never going to be free. I know my mother told me that. My mom told me that we would never ever be free because our ancestors wasn't free. Even after they got freed. They not free, but after they got let go, they were told that they were still slaves. They had no type of freedom. Yes, they will say, oh, there was no such thing as free slaves. Even if they had documented papers to say that they were free, they still snatched them up and threw them on a fucking horse carriage and took them somewhere and hid the motherfuckers, and then they will sell them to the highest bidder. Like one thing about I keep telling people, see, it's the history of black people. Black people don't like doing their history. And I say, you really want to know about black history? Go back in time to Jim Crow and, the black code, not the civil rights. Don't worry about the civil rights movement, because that was years down the road. Like in the fucking 1900s, around that time, after blacks were actually moving around, buying land and everything else, that part of the time, like around the 1900s. And I'm trying to tell you, everybody think it was in the South. It wasn't just in the South. They did some things to black people in the North, in the Midwest, and even in the West. They were doing things to black people that were so violent. Some black people left the country and go on to other parts of the world because a lot of other parts of the world didn't have that much racism to it. Blacks will go to Russia. Blacks will go to Blacks will go to Spain. Like they will leave. Like they will leave this country to go somewhere else because this country was so. It was racist. We think racism exists in this country today, and we think racism is so bad today. It's nowhere near the 1900s. Nowhere near Jim Crow. Nowhere near that. They used to redline black people. Black people couldn't do a god. This is the saddest thing. You a black man with your child and your wife. You just got out. You just went to get some dinner at an all black restaurant. You go home. You ride in your car. Now you see that sun over there. That sun is about to set. Once that sun get behind that fucking mountain over there, you gotta get home. So, they driving. Next thing you know, cop pull up. Get out of the car. But sir, the sun hasn't set behind the mountain yet. Get out of the fucking car. Pull him against the car, throw him against the car. Who you getting smart with? Sir, I'm not getting, shut the fuck up. Smack him right in his head with his gun. Wife is in the, other side. Well, how you doing, sweetheart? Grab her out of the car by her hair, throw her up against the car. She has a dress on. Rips her dress off. Rip her panties off. You know what he doing. The child up there screaming. Guess what? Cop pulls out a gun, blows his head off. While the mom is getting her brains blown out by this guy, while the father over there is on the ground, knocked out, the son is dead. And after all that happens, they put the bodies in the car. They turn the car, put the car on drive, because there's probably like a lot of woods out there. Set the car on fire. Because they ended up killing the woman. But they set the father was still alive. But they set the car on fire. So he actually died in the fire. This happened back in that time. Blacks want to talk about how we are dealing with racism today, but you can just imagine how you getting pulled over to the side, you get ripped out your car, and they put a rope around your neck and they hang you on a tree. And these are not just cops. These are regular white citizens that are doing this shit. And honestly, I'm going to tell you the truth, it'll be some young boys that do that shit too. It'll be some white young boys, citizens, like 14, 15, 16 years old, that used to do some crazy shit to black people. And them little girls used to lie. They used to tell the police, yeah, he raped me. No, he never seen this little girl in his life. They take him, throw him in jail. You know, the big ass bomb sitting outside of fucking jail, waiting to lynch him. Give him to us. The cops are like, no, he got to go to trial. Give him to him. So they try to get into jail. So the crowd is dispersed, right? The next day he had his court date. He's in there. He's trying to tell them that he didn't do anything. He was nowhere near this girl, and all this other kind of stuff. The girl up there's crying, and he touched me and did these things to me. He had a gun to me. The guy like, I don't even own a gun. When she changed it around since she had a knife, and he said, I don't own a knife, but she was trying to see. But it doesn't matter because when you got an all white jury's gonna believe, you know, whoever is the plaintiff or defendant. They don't care. So once he's found guilty by an all white jury, he might be put to death. Now, he might be also given to the mob that's sitting outside waiting for him. Because cops back then, they used to do that. They used to slide a supposedly criminal that's black, that supposedly did something, inhumane to a white person. They'll slide them through the back. They'll take them, and they'll end up doing some crazy shit to him, and then they'll hang him. See, lynching still exists to this very day, which they say they outlawed it, which I still believe they didn't outlaw lynching. And I don't believe they'll ever, ever outlaw lynching. Because, like I said before, one thing about the past, it always will be part of the ancestor line. I'm sorry, I always say that about white people. White people are still as part of their ancestors' bloodline. They have some kind of form of hate of black people, and they don't even know why. But they should know why, because their ancestors hated blacks, like their grandmoms, their grandpas, their great great grandmas, their great great grandfathers. And then they put that in their head when they were young, because they were young. They were with the grandma. My grandma will get in an argument with a black guy and call him a nigga and all types of names, and grandma pull out a gun on him, and grandma didn't give a fuck. But that happens. Not today. See, an older woman will get in an argument with a woman or a man, but they will bite their tongue. Back then, they never bit their tongue. See, I always try to tell people, go look at the 1900s and see how blacks were treated. Because the 1900s was really a gold mine for black people because of money. Because of Tulsa, Greenwood, and Lake Lanier, all of them it was money. But now, you got to look at it. Over nearly, 100 something years? Nearly 200 something, only about 100 something years. Things have changed. It's not the same because it's laws that protect blacks. They didn't have no laws to protect blacks. We're always talking about our laws or this and all that. See, we're lucky that we have these laws, because if we lived back in the 1900s, we would never have these laws to protect us. These laws would not even exist. We wouldn't have no 14th Amendment. Even though we would have had a 14th Amendment, they wouldn't give a fuck about no 14th Amendment. Like I said, the hate for black people then was so harsh. And people think black people are hated more now than they were back then. No, they're not. There's nowhere near what they were back in the 1900s. We're living in a utopia. Like, let's go travel back in time, and let's go to the South, and let's see how long us black people could walk down the South without a cop car pulling up alongside us and having a cop asking us, where y'all from? What y'all doing out here this late? Oh, we heard that you were trying to rob that store down the street. You trying to break in that store down the street. I mean, they will take your ass and will tear. Everybody know about Tillman. Tillman didn't do anything. They took him out of his house. Not his house, but they took him out of his uncle's house. They beat the crap out of him. They shot him in the face. All because of a whistle. The same thing what happened with Tulsa. A white woman said the man that went to go and try to use the bathroom said He tried to rape. He tried to touch me, or he brushed up against me. Man, they tried to snatch that boy out of that damn jail cell. And knowing that things were going to happen, which it was set up to happen, once they heard gunshots, they started saying, "Oh fuck this shit! No white motherfucker, no black motherfuckers are shooting at us." You know what they did? They went right to Tulsa. They didn't go nowhere else because the black fools ran straight to Tulsa. They didn't run towards anywhere else. They ran right to Tulsa. And them white motherfuckers followed them. And they destroyed Tulsa. That's some crazy shit. The first motherfucking time that the United States had motherfucking bombs dropped on a fucking town. And people don't care about what happened in that time because they said we didn't live in that time. You don't have to live in that time. Your family, you should be thankful that you didn't live in that time. You should be thankful that you're living in the year 2025 and we're going through this shit with Donald Trump, but he's not what the presidents that we had, like a Truman or Johnson, not Johnson, Jackson. We had some Thomas Jefferson, George Washington. I mean, we had some real racist motherfucking presidents. It's crazy. Even Roosevelt was a racist. But he tried to pretend like he wasn't because he was trying to help his wife to help women vote. So he wanted to act like he was a racist too. Everybody knows that when you are in power, like Donald Trump is, he should be trying to help his country be the best country in the world again by not trying to destroy his country. Because all he's doing is that. He's destroying his country. And people want to say that he's not. If you ever look the way the country it was when Biden was in office and what it is now, with food prices going the sky high roof and shit. I mean, lucky oil prices ain't going up yet. I mean, like, people are actually leaving the country. It's crazy. You're having people leave the country. And these are not even immigrants. These are regular, hard-nosed motherfucking Americans that are popping up and leaving. But they don't want to be here no more. Because of Donald H. Trump. And Donald Trump, this is what I believe Donald Trump is going to do. This is what I believe he's going to do. That all the people that leave this country, he's going to have them hunted. That's what I think. I believe that Donald Trump is going to have the people that want to leave this country, people want to go overseas and live somewhere else. They'll get documented and everything. But I believe Donald Trump will get so mad that he will have his FBI or whoever's going to be in power with him, he's going to have them be sent over to other parts of the world to have them arrested. And he's going to say they're committed treason. For a man that committed treason, that should have had the firing squad, because Donald Trump was supposed to have the firing squad. People don't know that. When you treason, you're supposed to die. Donald Trump did some treason shit. He did some treason shit to this country. What he did in the Capitol building was treason. Now, if it was any other person back in the day, and they would have did that shit, they would have been put in front of a firing squad. Now, I know a lot of people thinking, oh, he's great at doing, oh my goodness, he didn't do anything wrong. He's one of these people to, he wanted his people to just stand up. Motherfucker, no, it's not. That's not the way it's supposed to happen, man. Donald Trump should have told the people to back off. They would have listened to him. Like, back off. You don't need to do this shit, If Trump would have did that, I bet you Trump would have gotten more respect from people. They would really believe that motherfucker's a fucking powerful man by just backing off. But no, his idiocy and him thinking that nothing can happen to him as a president, which people know that you can't commit treason. He committed treason. And he's very, very lucky that he get the firing squad. But see, one thing about Donald Trump, he doesn't care as long as he has as long as he has his face in front of motherfucking on front of fucking newspaper or on YouTube or TikTok. Now, that's the funny thing. He said, "Oh, he saved TikTok." I don't even be on TikTok. I can't stand TikTok. He didn't save TikTok. He didn't save nothing. Donald Trump didn't save a goddamn thing. I wish they stopped saying that he saved everything. This is what he does. He wants everybody to think that he is doing everything that nobody else has done. And the thing is, you can't be doing that shit. You got to start. See, being the president of the United States, it's not about you. It's about the people that you're supposed to support, and you're supposed to protect your country from, you know, from the ocean, from over the ocean. See, but the thing is that this motherfucker's so worried about immigrants, he don't know what the fuck he doing. I say it all the time. This motherfucker don't know what he doing. I was like, you're so worried about immigrants. That's all you're fucking worried about. You're not worried about your own people in your own country being terrorists and rapists and murderers and molesters and child molesters in your own country. Yeah, you just got over having, somebody shooting up a school that was American. You had the bull that crashed his car and everything. He was American. The boy that blew his car up in front of the Trump Tower, he was fucking American. I can go on and on and on. Let's talk about the boy that shot up Orlando, the Orlando club. He was American. Let's talk about some other people that know about McVeigh. McVeigh was American. What else? Let's talk about the boy that stabbed up all the black people in that church. He was American, and they was never called they were never called terrorists. But you call a gang of black, like the Crips of the Bloods, you call them terrorists. Knowing gangs been in this country for a very long time, ever since the 1900s. Or since the 1800s, you are sitting up there calling gangs terrorists, right? But you won't go after the real terrorists or the ones that are in your fucking cabinet. You don't go after the motherfuckers in your cabinet. Those are the real terrorists. He got some real idiots in his cabinet. I said, you cannot be. I said, don't fear Trump. Fear the people in his cabinet, because those are the ones that are going to tell Trump, you need to do this. Trump is, he can't think for himself, so he has dementia. Everybody talking about Biden got dementia. That motherfucker got dementia too. So he's up there being told what to say or what to do, and he's sitting up there like, okay, I'll do that. Hey, yo, make sure you do what he just said. What did he say? I don't know. What did he just say? Why don't you just bomb Russia? Cool. I'll do that. You think I want to get some TV time? Trump don't know what he wants to fucking do in his life, man. He's very, very, like I told you, if people don't know this man before he became the president of the United States, before he became the president of the United States, as an entrepreneur, and he became big through real estate, and through the years, like, he always been around different type of diverse people. See, I don't know what changed from Donald Trump being around a whole bunch of diverse people, even though he was racist back then too, because he always hated immigrants. Because he used to have, see, how can you have, why would you deport immigrants when you used to have immigrants working for you? Donald Trump used to have immigrants that worked for him. He used to pay them nothing. He used to treat his immigrants like trash, the ones that work for him. And he treated black people like trash too. He said black people shouldn't even count as money. This is how, see, people really, like I said, if you don't know these motherfuckers before they come in power, like Joe Biden, people didn't know about Joe Biden being a racist before he was in power too. Like, when you learn about these things, about, like take Lyndon Johnson too, very, very big racist. Everybody knows that these motherfuckers are sitting there trying to hide their racism, but Trump doesn't hide it. He's a well-known racist. He doesn't care. He won't hide it, and people think that's great. Oh man, I like a man that talks and he speaks up for himself. He's not afraid. I'm like, man, shut the fuck up about that, man. We had a lot of presidents that been in office that said what they wanted to say. You had Reagan, you had John F. Kennedy, you had a lot of other presidents that spoke up for themselves. They didn't care about what everybody else said about them. They weren't afraid of nobody. But now you got this idiot that sits there and said he don't speak up. He says the stupidest shit out of his mouth. Like it doesn't make any sense. Then he'll talk about what's that? What's that? What's the fucking movie that came out in the 1990s? The fuck. He started talking about like movies that had killers in it, and we're sitting there like, what? Donald Trump? What are you talking about? Like, why are you talking about movies that got killers in it? Oh, I like that movie. I don't know why else don't like that movie. That movie's just a great movie. Oh my god, I just love that movie. I'm like, this motherfucker's talking about movies that this motherfucker ate somebody's brain. This motherfucker don't. He says the weirdest shit. He touches women anytime he wants because he believed that he could grope women and do whatever he wants to women. And I'm like, one day a woman's gonna put a knife in his fucking neck. He better leave some of these women alone. Like, just because you're the president of the United States, that don't mean shit. All right. People thinking just because you got power, you can sit there and do whatever you want to anybody. You can't do that shit, yo. Your power is for you to just help the country, build the country, make money for the country, do your 4 years, try to do another 4 years, and then you move on. This motherfucker comes back. 2016 was a lot different because I was like the pandemic came out of nowhere. But once he left, this motherfucker went through so much shit with trials and taxes and fraud and him getting, about the woman, he touching the woman and penetrating without her consent. This motherfucker was online. This motherfucker was on a radio station. I forgot what radio station he was on. This motherfucker sat there and said, like, this is when he owned one of the places. I forgot he owned one of the casinos, and he said he could walk. There was like a whole bunch of women that worked for him, and he used to walk in the room with the women that were like had no clothes on. And he would walk in there, and these would be young ass girls like 15, 16 years old. He'd walk right in the room, and he said, "Yeah, they will freeze, but I can do everything I want because I own the property. I can do whatever I want." People say that it's a bad look. People say it's a bad look. It's not a bad look. I can do whatever I want. He walked into a room with a whole bunch of little girls that were half naked or naked. And don't you think that's weird? Or are people like that? People like them pedophiles, right? So people like them pedophiles and rapists and murderers, which they call immigrants that, right? But if America could just leave the immigrants out, right? Let's take this for instance, right? Say this country had no illegal immigrants come here, right? just imagine, right? There's no illegal immigrants in this country, right? Now, so the people that live here in this country, right, we're citizens, right? So you telling me that all the illegal, so there's no illegal immigrants, right? So what about us? So we're not going to be the rapists and murderers and killers and shit because you know that before immigrants came, before all these different type of immigrants came to this country, America, the Europeans murdered the Native Americans, right? Then they went down into Mexico and slaughtered a lot of Mexicans too, right? Raped, murdered, stole their land, everything. See, but one thing about white people, they don't want to talk about that. It's not a good thing to talk about something that happened in the past because they don't like to hear anything that their ancestors have done. You know what I mean? They don't like that. They hate it. Like, they don't. They don't like that you talk about, oh, that happened 500 years ago. Why'd you talk about that? But you're telling me, right, the immigrants here, you said they're murder, rapists, and all that, even though that you have no proof of that, because you're only going by what Donald Trump says out of his mouth. You don't hear no documented shit unless you sit there and talk about, oh, well, look at all these gangs like MS and all of them. Look at them doing all these crimes. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, man. Do you understand that certain gangs come from other countries and honestly settle? It's just like a lot of gangs in America goes off to other countries and settle too. It's like, and they start gangs in other countries. So I don't know where you get this from. Gangs always do that. Look what the Italians did. The Italians came from Italy when they first had their first motherfucking mob, their first gang over there in Italy. And they came to the United States and brought that with them. Was it wrong that the mob was killing a whole bunch of people? That the Italians were killing and stealing and robbing and doing all that kind of shit to people? Nobody didn't care about that, right? Nobody didn't care about the mob. Nobody didn't care about all the gangs that we had through the 90s. Because a lot of these young people don't know about that. Don't know about the 90s. Don't know about when it was really, really, really crime and criminal shit going on. Like the cartel. You want to talk about the cartel? Man, the cartel is nothing like the cartel that it was back in the fucking 80s and 90s. Like, come on. Like that cartel shit is nothing like the 80s and 90s. That's just that baby shit. We always want to talk about, oh, they're doing all these bad things. Motherfucker, get the hell out of here, man. Won't they pack up every single white person, get them on a boat, and send them back to Europe? But they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. See, us black people, we wish we can go back somewhere, but we can't go back because they won't accept us. But we probably could go back, but we choose not to because, like I said, we're slaves. But like I said, Europeans can get on a boat, go right back to Europe. Even though the Europe in Europe they won't let y'all stay there, but just being honest, it's different, man. It's way different now than it was in the past. But the past was very, very violent. Presidents were very racist. Mayors, governors, FBI, CIA, all of them were racist. They would go after black people for no reason. Even the fire department went after black people. Like, it's crazy how this one guy came into a restaurant and this guy was sitting at the table, black guy was sitting at the table eating, and this white guy came up to him, sat at the table, and said, "Can I please talk to you for a second?" The black guy said, "Sure, we want to talk about." The white guy went through a whole story about what happened in the 60s, and he was apologizing to this black guy because he said that back in the 60s, the fire department would never save black people. They would let black people die in fires. Like, he said he used to hear the kids screaming when they would just walk off. Or you'll hear somebody saying, "Help, help, help." And they said he said you would hear the screams of kids, like loud screams of kids. That's crazy. That's how much they hated black people, dog. That's how much they hated blacks. That was so much heartbreaking right there, man. That's heartbreaking. And nobody cares. Nobody didn't care. The fire department didn't like us. Police didn't like us. The FBI. They set up Martin Luther King. I mean, it's like, it's crazy, yo, how much they hated us for no reason. And I thought immigrants, like you should actually, black people really shouldn't say anything. We should honestly be supporting immigrants because that's what we were. But we're not going to because we're selfish just like the Europeans. We're thinking that, oh, you're undocumented, you shouldn't be here. But we're not documented either. Just because you're documented now, because your family member came from a different time and you were born here, that don't mean that your family's actually documented. Because people can't even find half of their family from the past. Like, they be looking up their family members and trying to find their family members, and they can't even find them. Even if you do the Ancestry.com bullshit, people couldn't even find their family roots or some of the names of their family members because it wasn't documented. And this is during slavery. They couldn't even find their family members, like, that were actually probably traded or sold You know what I mean? Or worked on a plantation and died, or their death was documented, so they wouldn't be able to find none of their family members. And it's a damn shame because I'm like, man, are you going to think that they're going to make black people think that we deserve to have all this stuff given to us just because we were slaves? Or we're going to wake up and say, you know what? We don't deserve none of this shit. They don't have to give us none of this shit. They don't have to give us child care, health care. They don't have to give us none of this stuff. They can just give us absolutely nothing and let us starve. This is stuff that they created to actually control black people. Welfare, all this shit was white welfare was for white people anyway. The hood that was created for white people, the hood, the actual hood, the original hood, was created for white people. It was the first suburb. Then blacks started moving in. Then whites started moving out, and they started moving into the suburbs. That's when they started cutting off black people from buying property in suburb neighborhoods. That's why it's called redlining. Because blacks were moving. See, us black people, we don't know how to stay fucking put. We move into a black neighborhood, but we want to leave and go to a white neighborhood because we never know how to stay put. Now you're starting to see black people getting kicked out of their neighborhood, and you start to see white people move back into the hood what they originally lived. Because, like I said, before it was government, white people used to own this shit. Then it started being governed by governed by the government. Now, us black people are living in the government actual, like the projects and all that. That's all government. I'm not trying to tell you what you should do or how you should do it. Some people be mean. Some people be saying some hard shit to me. I don't care because everybody don't tell the truth, and people don't tell the truth about this problem that we have in this country that's been going on for a very long time, man. And we haven't learned a goddamn thing. We've been in this country for nearly 300 years, going on 400 years, and we haven't did a goddamn thing. Every time I go downtown in Philadelphia and I see William Penn, see the Quaker, these racist motherfuckers that used to walk around here killing off Native Americans just because the Native Americans wanted their land back. It's crazy. It's sad. Like, and how white people can support the crime that they're reflecting on people, man. Like Donald Trump wants to do this to people. Oh yeah, you should do it. You should do it. Yeah. How can you support criminal action on somebody? He's trying to tear his whole country down, man. And that Super Bowl's gonna be wild. Got a long way to go, man. Got until fucking 6:30. Gonna be a long ass fucking. Oh man, do not want to see that man, but he's gonna be seen. He's gonna wave. They're gonna boo him. I'm like, let's kick the ball off. Already got another 3 hours of cheating going on. Let me go see another three. I don't want to see another 3 hours of this man. God bless.